When people think about the fall of Rome, they usually imagine barbarians at the gates, legions, or palace conspiracies. But the truth is, empires usually don't fall from external attacks. They decay from within. And one of the most important drivers of that decay is often money and the economy. Rome didn't fall only because of invasions. The collapse of its currency played a major role, and the lessons from this are still relevant today. Think about it this way. The foundation of Rome's economy was the denarius. It was a coin made mostly of pure silver, and most people trusted it. Soldiers were paid with it, merchants demanded it, and ordinary people saved their wealth in it. So this wasn't just money, it was essentially trust itself. As long as people trusted Rome, they trusted its currency. But as the empire expanded, things became more difficult. Soldiers' wages, roads, wars. Eventually, revenues were no longer enough. Instead of raising taxes, which people don't like, the government chose a different path, reducing the amount of silver in the coin. The data makes it clear. During the time of Augustus, the denarius was about 95% silver. Over time, that percentage declined. By the 3rd century, it had fallen below 5%. In short, it became a coin that looked the same on the outside, but was empty on the inside. Once people realized this, things went downhill fast. Trust collapsed. Prices began to rise. Goods that once cost 1 denarius now cost dozens. This wasn't just theory. It directly affected daily life. Soldiers demanded higher wages. Merchants stopped accepting the devalued coins. People turned to barter. The economy slowly began to freeze. So what did the state do? It issued more money. But this didn't solve the problem. It made it worse. This cycle accelerated and eventually led Rome into what is known as the crisis of the 3rd century. For about 50 years, the empire faced civil wars, plagues, invasions, and economic collapse. Emperors changed constantly, and the system became unstable. But underneath all this chaos was a fundamentally broken economic structure. At one point, they even tried to fix prices. Emperor Diocletian issued an edict setting maximum prices for goods, but it failed. Because the problem wasn't prices, it was the money itself. A black market emerged, and the official economy deteriorated further. People learned something important. A broken currency cannot be fixed by law. Eventually, Rome had to abandon this currency altogether. A new gold-based system was introduced, which brought some stability. But for the Western Roman Empire, it was already too late. The economic foundation had collapsed. So the takeaway is this: Rome didn't fall overnight. It unraveled gradually. And one of the key reasons was the breakdown of its monetary system. So what does this mean today? It's actually quite simple. When monetary systems are manipulated, there are consequences. Rome experienced this, and throughout history the same pattern has repeated. Take Germany, for example. In the 1920s, its currency lost value so rapidly that people needed piles of banknotes just to carry their wages. In Zimbabwe, prices were doubling almost daily, and every time the same thing happened, ordinary people suffered the most. In modern economies, the situation isn't entirely different. Money is no longer tied to gold, it's tied to trust. Governments can print more money. Debt increases, the money supply expands, and over time the value of money declines. It may not look dramatic, but its effects are constant. Even today, the same system is at work. Money looks the same, but its value slowly erodes. And typically, this is what happens. Governments present it as growth. People think their incomes are increasing, but purchasing power doesn't keep up. So, unnoticed, value is lost. Now here's the most critical part. This is no longer just a single nation's issue. The system is global. which means any potential crisis could have much wider effects. So what can you, as an individual, take from this? Understanding that money is based on trust, that if this trust weakens, the system can unravel, and that real value often lies in tangible or productive assets. These are important insights. People in Rome never thought their currency would become worthless one day. Neither did Germans nor Zimbabweans. But they all went through the same process. In the end, Rome was not destroyed only by external enemies. The real problem was internal, especially economic. And history makes one thing clear. The same mistakes can happen again if they are not recognized